Hey guys, welcome back. As I promised you guys, here is my 10-day post-op uh, follow-up video. I just had my my 10-day post-op visit. It was with a physician's assistant. It was virtual. They were more focused on, do you have any swallowing, breathing issues? Do you have any issues eating? Any issues with your voice? Stuff like that. And here we go again. Anyway. um, I said no, 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 and no. Any pain? No, not necessarily where you guys worked at over here. That's been pretty good. The muscles are a little tight over here. They're a little tight over here too. I did, sleep on my back, so that kind of probably. I've been sleeping. Been going between my back and my side. I've been sleeping. Uh, I'll bring up some of the things that got concerned for me. As you see, I haven't shaved in a while. After this, I am probably going to shave either tonight or tomorrow because it's nowhere near the incision at this point, and I want to at least shave. I mean, people said, oh, let it go, looks good, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable with it anyway. So everything's been going pretty good from my ACDF C5-C7. Fortunately, I still have a lot of issues up here. So if I point up here, you can point up here, so you can even see. You can point up here, and that's where I'm having a lot of my issues is up here, which is right at that 3-4. I knew it was still an issue. I know it's still an issue. I need to do something about it. No voice, no swallowing issues. I've been eating whatever I want. Matter of fact, my diet last week, this is really weird. So I went into the hospital. I was about 183 pounds, and that's even light for me. I mean, that wasn't, for me, that was, this time last year, it was like 220 pounds. Like, that was too much, but then 183 was too light. I got, because of spinal cord compression, I got very sick and whatnot, um, and I've lost a lot of weight because I had a lot of bowel issues that were happening from there. So I went ahead and I addressed the spinal cord issue and left the hospital, and suddenly I was down to 179, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 pounds lost since I got to the hospital. That was a concern. So I brought this up with a physician's assistant, and he said, yeah, he goes, that's kind of normal because in the hospital you get a little dehydrated. Of course, I'm drinking water like crazy. But I guess it kind of makes sense because now I'm thinking about it. I had the IV fluid going through me, but I was drinking water like crazy in the hospital. So I was probably trying to hydrate myself, and it was just all going through me. Um, so I got down to 179, I guess, and it was, it's not normal for me. So, within these next month or so, I'd like to at least gain at least 5 pounds back, maybe a little bit more if I could. My ideal weight's always been about between 185 and 195, somewhere around there. So losing this weight gets concerning to me, but thankfully they said, yeah, that's normal after surgery like that. So that was one thing that really bothered me a little bit more. Um, the other thing was, my restriction next week goes from 5 pounds to 15 pounds. Uh, they said normally, actually, it's usually between 5 to 10 pounds, and sometimes they just say 15 pounds right off the bat. So that is not even the case anymore with that 15 pounds. And then by the time I'm back for my 6-week post-op visit, um, which will be in person with the neurosurgeon, I'll have an x-ray done the week before that. I'll bring in that x-ray into the post-op visit, and he'll look at it and he'll determine how everything's going from there, and then he'll probably say, okay, well, come back at, I don't know if he's gonna tell me like 8 weeks or something. Like, he'll probably tell me like 8 or 10 weeks. But he's gonna say everything's looking good there, blah blah blah. Or if it's not looking good, that's when I'll discuss with him about my other issues going on here, because they don't want to push anything too much. But yeah, they said, it's 15 pounds next week, and then the week 6 they'll probably put it up to 20 pounds, depending on range of motion. So range of motion, you can see that's pretty good, right? You can see that, yeah, that's a little tight, but it's not bad. I can hear, the only problem that I have here, I'm getting notifications from Facebook now because everyone's going crazy. The only problems I have is I hear bone on bone in there, and it's coming from up here. It's not coming from down here. Down here sounds great. It's coming from up here. And they said try to look up. You try to have me look up. A little, not too crazy. Try to look down. That was a little difficult too, but wasn't horrible. Um, but they said, whatever, they said, one of the things that I was asking about was driving after 2 weeks, and they said, well, like if you want to try to push yourself, if you want to test the waters, you can. After the 2 weeks, however, because of your range of motion, we'd rather see where it's at before we send you off driving. So we would recommend that you hold off until the 6 week mark. So that is the other thing that really got me there. The incision's healing very nicely. I don't have to wear a bandage on it anymore. It's very dry over here now. So it's just going to have to dry up, and the glue's going to have to fall off, and everything's going to have to come off on there. They say to, just use like shampoo, like a baby shampoo, and or something. And I probably should have shut down my notifications. Everyone's going crazy now. Everyone's checking up on me. So yeah. So they had, they said, but you can get it wet, but don't soak it. Just and then dry it off really quick and whatever. The good news is that I've been told that I can reach up if I need to. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy I can reach up. They said, so if you need to get something out of your pantry, as long as it's not heavy, you can, get up and pull it down. If you need to do that, that's fine. Just be very careful with what you're doing. Make sure it's not heavy. If you need help, make sure you get your help if you need it. So that's a positive, at least to me, that I can do that. So yeah, but again, the restriction there. Obviously, I forgot what else I asked about. Oh, I asked about should I be wearing a neck collar or not. They said it's not required still. They said though, what you might want to do is, when you sleep, and you might want to put it on when you sleep, so you're not turning your neck a lot. So it might help you out a little bit. It might heal you up a little bit further. It might stiffen you, but that's okay if it does. So they just said, just be careful with that. But you might want to do that. I asked them about sleeping. Should I be sleeping in a recliner? Should I be sleeping propped up? Or should I be sleeping back or anything like that? They told me that basically not required. You can sleep on your back. You can sleep on your side. Don't sleep on your stomach. So of course that's what I am. I'm a stomach sleeper, so that doesn't help me. But because stomach, you're turning and twisting too much. Yeah, and then went over to bone growth stimulator with them, and the bone growth stimulator really gave them an idea that I've been compliant every single day since the post-op. Since the day 7, I think I started using a post-op, so they saw that I was compliant since day 7. One thing that I noted was that when I was using my phone, I was using Xbox headphones, or I was using whatchamacallit, or regular headphones. The bone growth stimulator was having like a little tick 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 inside of the headphones, no matter where inside of the phone. So I opted to not use those devices while I'm using a bone growth stimulator. So obviously do what I got to do early on. I actually felt like my brain got zapped at one point yesterday, and I was just like, whoa, I felt so dizzy. The other thing is probably about day 5, maybe I overdid it with my walking. I did it about 10,000 steps. And they said, that might be, you gotta build it up a little bit instead of just going right at it. So 10,000 steps was quite a lot for me. And they came back and said, well, that's not bad, but how did you feel the next day? I felt horrible. Like my upper body still feels a little weak. I mean, my arm strength, there's a lot of good arm strength that's back here. So that, especially in this left arm, there's a lot of good left arm strength. This right arm, not as much, but it came back. Leg strength too came back, which is really good. Not tremendously, but it came back better than what it was before the surgery. That's for certain. I can tell you that much for certain. Now the problem is, I'm still having the issues up here, which is exactly what I need to do. Yeah, so you can feel it when I'm doing that and that. So yeah, but yeah, so they said, don't overdo it with the walking, because obviously if you overdo it, you have a problem. I mean, my upper body was so weak after that walking. Even sitting in a car, my upper body felt very weak, and didn't want to, have me overexert myself. I asked them about physical therapy. They said, depending on your range of motion, we may or may not recommend physical therapy to you. Obviously, if you want to go to physical therapy, that's up to you. But that is, Not recommended. What they did say though, with the stretching and the reaching is, not to do any crazy exercises like jumping jacks or anything like that. Not to do any major yoga stretching, not to do anything, obviously lifting weights over your head. That can cause some problems too. Um, yeah, I think everything's going pretty well so far. With this surgery, I'm pretty certain I'm going to need another one, because I can already feel that need to happen. Only thing that I have to say is that I really do wish I would have done a C3 to C7 ACDF. Now I'm not sure if I need an ACDF on those other two levels. It's possible I just might need artificial discs. And if that's the case, then it's going to be a lot easier because I keep a lot of range of motion. I get that strength back and everything is much better. So I think I'm going to update you guys probably after that 6 weeks appointment. So that'll be sometime in September. Give everyone a break. My 10-day post-op's going very well. As you can see, there's no problem with my voice. I've been eating whatever I want. I'll tell you everything that I've had to eat last week. I mean, it's not like I'm not eating. With this weight loss. So what I've been having last week was I had for at least 3 or 4 days in a row, I had lots of baked ziti that my neighbor next door made for me. Then one of my friends made a big thing of lasagna. So I was having that along with my dad and my stepmom who were helping me out here. Got a friend coming this week now to help me out with the rest. Also, had 4 slices of pizza, which is freaking phenomenal. I think that was like, I don't know if that was Wednesday or Thursday. I think it was a Wednesday night. I think it was because I was getting hungry and I was sitting there. I was like, man, I'm like, no, I don't want to sound gross, but I didn't, my bowels weren't moving through me, and I was like, it's not that I wasn't backed up or anything like that. I wasn't backed up. I just didn't feel like I had to go. So I'm like, you know what? I need a fatty food to make it so I have to go, so I can go. So I did that. So yeah, that's that. And then yeah, on top of that, I had I think it was Friday night. I had some friends over here. That went really well. And when those friends came over, we were at a point of oh, let's order dinner. So I had these 6 chicken fingers. The chicken fingers were so good. They were big meaty chicken fingers with honey mustard. And I had potato skins too. So and then the rest of the days have been mainly okay, I got macaroni and cheese. I'll eat macaroni and cheese for lunch or something. I'll eat a TV dinner for lunch or for dinner or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it depends what the days are. For breakfast, it's always been eggs and Carnation instant breakfast or Ensure or something like that. So it's been pretty good. I've been eating. I think I'm gonna cut back on the eggs and maybe do something else for breakfast soon, like waffles or pancakes or I don't know, something better. I do know I need probably more beef in me at this point. I mean, my dad was a butcher, so I grew up with a lot of meat. So probably gonna be eating lots of beef and chicken this week, more for my protein and stuff, and to get my strength and everything back up. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, other than that, surgery went well, better than what I expected. I'm still dealing with some issues, but not as many. So I think once I get those other issues resolved, I'll be in a better spot. They did ask me, you feeling dizzy at all? I'm not really dizzy. I mean, maybe a little bit kind of off with the upper levels. But nothing too crazy, nothing bad with the surgery. I'm a little itchy though, as you can tell, I'm itchy myself. I'm a little itchy from still, I don't want to call it hospital ick that's on me, but it's more of the, I guess whatever the material they use on me is trying to come off at this point. And finally, I think most of that anesthesia is finally kind of wearing out on me. Thank goodness, because that was. I don't know. I'll be curious to know when I talk to my doctor what the rest of the story is, because he did say that my nerves were all squished and compressed. So I want to know when he went in there for operation, what he saw. Unfortunately, the physician's assistant that I saw was not there for the operation. The other one that I saw that released me was there, but there was a third one that I was supposed to see, and I guess that physician's assistant sent another physician's assistant to come talk to me. So I have no idea what's going on that one. So anyway, yeah, that's it. 15-minute update, really quick, I guess. And again, if you're scared about this operation, I can understand. I was like that for a month, completely like that for a month. Don't be scared. everyone's different. Everyone has a different experience. My experience has so far been good. I'm happy that it's been good. So I'm hoping that it stays that way. Hoping that if I do need another one, that it's the same experience. Everyone though has different experiences, but so far so good. I see no neck brace. Here's my incision. You can see it a little bit here. Everyone did say I'm a little bit taller, so that's good too. Trying not to do too crazy in the house. Taking the extra week off of work here, just to take the week off, and then next week I'll be back at work. Working from home, but I'll be back at work, and I'll be kind of back to normal, but still it's going to be a little, got to be careful what I'm doing. So yeah, the neurosurgeon did say to work an hour or two at a time, and then take a break for an hour, and then come back for an hour or two at a time, and take a break so it'll be kind of what I'll be doing. Anyway, if you have any questions, leave any or comments, leave them in the comments section. I'm always willing to answer it. I'll update you guys at 6 weeks post-op. I'll let you know how everything's going. I'll let you know how the hardware's going, how everything's lined up in there, and we'll see what goes on from there. So take care, everyone. Thank you for following my story, and hopefully I will see you guys soon. Take care.